Hey everyone, thanks for being here. The big news this week is the reveal of Harley's Icon Bike of the Year. Stay tuned, we'll talk about that and a couple other bike updates as well. I was wondering if this year's Icon bike was going to be a special version of the Road Glide Limited, since that isn't in the lineup this year. But this year is the 35th anniversary of the Harley Fatboy, so it makes sense that they would make this the Icon Bike of the Year. Apparently back in 1990, the Fatboy was a grayish silver color and it became known as the Gray Ghost. So the Gray Ghost returns in 2025. This is a limited edition numbered bike with 1,990 bikes in production. This bike is silver with lots of chrome. It has a 117 engine on it. I was at a Harley demo weekend this past weekend and the dealer I was at had a Gray Ghost in stock. My personal opinion, I don't like it. The silver is so bright that it almost looks like the entire bike is made out of chrome. There's not much gray in the 2025 rendition of the Gray Ghost. However, this did inspire me to take a ride on the Fatboy during the demo rides so that I could see what the 2025 Fatboy is like. One thing I've discovered as I learn and gain more experience as a rider is how much my tastes and preferences change and fluctuate. A perfect example of this is the Street Bob. 2 years ago when I first started doing demo rides, I raved at how awesome the Street Bob 114 was, how if I had the money for a small bum around town bike as a second bike, that the Street Bob would be a top choice for me. Last year when I rode it, and this year as well, I wasn't nearly as excited about it. Sure, it's got fantastic power to weight ratio, but I didn't enjoy it nearly as much. Another example is my own personal journey as I go through bike after bike. I started with a Kawasaki Vulcan 800, then an Indian Scout, up to an Indian Chieftain. When that was totaled, I went to a Harley Heritage Classic and then to a Street Glide. Now I'm back to a lighter weight bike with the Honda Rebel 1100T. The point is my preferences and tastes continue to change the longer I ride. When I rode the Fatboy last year, I didn't like it. The wide back tire makes it difficult to countersteer. You can physically feel the bike resisting the corner and wanting to stand up again. But given how my preferences continue to change, I decided to try it again this year. But for the most part, my experience with this bike did not change. I still felt that resistance to countersteering, but what I learned was that if I slow down and turn the front wheel the direction I'm turning instead of countersteering, it seemed to do better. The bike seems to take the corners fairly easily and naturally if you simply lean the bike and the front wheel in the same direction you're turning. So countersteering doesn't work well, but regular steering does. If you're a rider who loves that classic, iconic look of a Harley and is more into relaxed riding, doesn't take the corners very aggressively or lean into them that far, this might be a great choice for you. And if you really like bright bikes and are willing to pay the extra $2,800 for a limited edition, check out the new Gray Ghost Fatboy. Speaking of changing preferences, I decided to also ride the Pan America ST while I was at the demo event. If you watched my original review of the Pan Am ST from the previous demo weekend I was at, I didn't give it very good marks. So I decided to ride it again just to see if maybe I was having an off day last time. This time on the ST was better than last, but not significantly. On the last ride, one of my biggest complaints was the seat. With my short build, I felt like I was pushed up against the tank. This time I focused on sitting back a little farther on the seat to avoid that. This definitely improved the ride experience as far as the seat was concerned, but sitting a bit farther back meant a little more lean on the handlebars, increasing the numbness in my hands and discomfort in my wrists. I did try to pull some of my weight off the bars a little, which helped some. So the ride was definitely better than last time. Putting it closer to some of the other adventure bikes that I've ridden, I still think the Pan Am Special is better, but we need to ride it again to see. So that's it. That's my review of the Gray Ghost and a second follow-up review of the Pan Am ST. Thanks everyone. Appreciate you all. Thanks for watching. Take care.